Hi everyone, I'm Anthony DeMauro. Welcome to Sports Rants Now, the Miami Dolphins edition. Now, the Miami Dolphins had one heck of an off-season. They signed Ndamukong Suh. They had a very good draft, picking up Devontae Parker. They upgraded their defense. And I felt like they added some playmakers on offense as well, with Kenny Stills, jettisoning Mike Wallace, picking up Greg Jennings for some veteran presence, and Jordan Cameron, to name a few of the additions. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how this all comes together for Miami heading into the 2015 season. Now, I love what they did on defense. Adding Suh brings this defense to another level, a defense that collapsed late last year, basically due to a lack of being able to adjust to what offenses were doing to that defense. I mean, Denver was the first one to really expose a major flaw in Miami's defense and kind of set the blueprint for teams the rest of the way on how to attack the Miami Dolphins, which teams did. And that defense looked horrendous. Now, cornerstone players like Cameron Wake, Brent Grimes, and of course Rashad Jones will all shine in 2015. I think the returning Louis Delmas will certainly help if he can stay healthy. And all indications or indicators are saying that basically this guy is ready to go. I think the linebacking core, I would have liked to see them pick up a linebacker, a really impactful one in the early rounds of the NFL draft. But I think Chris McCann's going to step up. I think Jelani Jenkins is going to continue to improve. I feel like Cole Misi is solid. He's a solid contributor. He's not going to wow you, but he's somebody who definitely can be serviceable. Kelvin Shepherd could certainly step up in this role as well. These are players I want to watch for 2015, and I'd be very interested now that they have a more elite defensive line. And trust me, it's an elite defensive line in front of them. Now, last year, that defensive line got pushed around in the run game. They let Randy Starks go. They let Jared Odrick go in free agency, a player that I really liked in Odrick. He's down in Jacksonville now. Cameron Wake, listen, the guy's a great pass rusher, but he's absolutely almost limited. He's completely, I would almost say, unimpactful in the run game. That's been my biggest criticism of Wake, who is an elite pass rusher in recent years. Well, now Wake, who routinely faces double teams, is going to have Ndamukong Suh next to him on that line, who's going to be commanding double teams. Olivia Vernon, on the other side, he is a developing pass rusher. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So these both Wake and Vernon are going to get more one-on-one matchups. Now they got Earl Mitchell in that rotation, a player I like. He really didn't have the big season that I think Dolphins fans were expecting in 2015. But with that being said, Earl Mitchell is going to have a better year this year, and they have some depth. I really like what they did. This is a deep defensive line. I mean, Jordan Phillips is just one of the names that they added here. And I know there's questions about that kid, but I get the reasoning on why you draft him. You put him next to a hard worker like Suh, and all of a sudden you get that work ethic and that passion developed into him, instilled in him, and he gets shown the way, so to speak. So this defensive line, and I'm only mentioning a couple of names here, I think in the addition of Mosley, I mean, this is going to be a stellar defensive line, and I don't think the run defense is going to be an issue. Now, the thing is, the Dolphins are going to be able to put up points, and that's the big question. So let's go to the offensive side of the ball. I like Ryan Tannehill. I'm a Ryan Tannehill guy. I understand why the Dolphins gave him this extension. Listen, quarterbacks are commodities that are hard to come by. Miami struggled with this since Dan Marino retired up until drafting Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill has showed a stark improvement from season to season, so you know the kid is still reaching his potential. Now, whether he's going to be a superstar, a serviceable quarterback, he's going to be great or very good, remains to be seen. But if my quarterback is trending upward and he's in a contract year, I'm willing to give him an investment on my end to continue to see where that growth continues. Now, he didn't stagnate at all. He's made progress. I like what I see with Tannehill, and I think he's going to be even better this year with proficiency, efficiency, and I certainly think a little bit more comfortability in this offense. I think we're going to be seeing big numbers. Now, wide receivers, I love the pick of Devontae Parker. Now, when I was at the draft, not at the draft, when I was watching the NFL draft, I was watching it as an NFL fan. I was watching it as a Dolphins fan. And I was crossing my fingers that Parker fell to them when they selected. which he did, and I was ecstatic. I think this is a type of playmaker that the Dolphins sorely need. Now, they got rid of Mike Wallace. I know they're eating some money there. I know there's some issues there, but this was the right move on so many levels. Mike Wallace wasn't worth that contract even before he signed it. Came in, and regardless of who you place the blame on with Tannehill and Mike Wallace didn't add up there, and I think it would have been more of a burden than a benefit to keep him on that roster. In return, they get Kenny Stills, a very similar player. I think this is a guy that's going to be very good in this offense. Greg Jennings has that veteran leadership that I think Mike Wallace didn't have. Greg Jennings will show them how to be professionals, and he's used to Joe Philbin as coaching him, so he's going to be able to relay Philbin's message a little bit better than maybe previously. 2 receivers on board. So I like this move for the Dolphins. In the backfield, you have Lamar Miller. Jay Ajayi, I gotta say, I love this kid. I think he's going to really threaten for time. Daniel Thomas was there last year, so this is a definite upgrade. Dolphins fans have to be happy. Where I have issues is the offensive line. For as much work as the Dolphins did on defense and on offense, they've ignored the offensive line. Now, I know they drafted Jameel Douglas, but every Dolphin fan, myself included, and even analysts, you cannot BS yourself and say you feel comfortable with Dallas Thomas as a starter. I'm not comfortable with Dallas Thomas as a starter. You can show me statistics saying that he gave up most of his sacks at right tackle and not at right guard to make your argument, but Dallas Thomas gets absolutely owned on a lot of plays. And I know he can always improve, and I'm rooting for him to improve. But when you have him locked in as your starter right now, that's troublesome. Let him improve. Let him show the improvement. Let him earn the starting job. He had a shot at it last year. He did not show anything to me, or most analysts, I think, and most fans, that would make them believe that he should stay the starter on the Dolphins. Now, Jameel Douglas could be somebody that steps in and is impactful. I know there's rumors out there for Evan Mathis. I think that deal gets done, and if so, then you're looking at one of the better lines in the National Football League. But everything hinges on Brandon Albert and the health there. So Brandon Albert definitely is going to be somebody that, if he comes back and he's healthy, that's a big boost to the Dolphins. Now, last year, Miami went 8-8 after stumbling down the stretch. They're going to have to play the Patriots twice. They're going to have to play the Bills twice, and they're going to have to play the Jets twice. And you can sit there and look at those rosters as a Dolphins fan and say, oh, win. But the Dolphins routinely have struggled against these teams, mainly the Jets, mainly the Bills, the past couple of seasons. So they're not lockdown wins. And because of that, I see the Dolphins going 10-6, securing one of the wild cards. And I actually do think not only will they be going to the playoffs for the first time in a few seasons, several years, but they're also going to get their first playoff win. I think that's the step forward. Joe Philbin will secure his job. Unfortunately, I think the team will play in spite of him, but hopefully he makes some improvements as well. But nonetheless, look for the Dolphins to go 10-6, make the playoffs as a wild card, and I see them getting through the first round. And this has been Sports Rants Now. You can follow me on Twitter at Anthony DeMauro. Thank you for watching my Miami Dolphins 2015 preview. Make sure to be on the lookout for every team that I preview in the National Football League for 2015. I'm Anthony DeMauro. You've been tuned into Sports Rants. I'll catch you on the flip side.